I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is all the mods Volcano Block. Now, in the last couple of episodes, we have really dabbled into some mods, and today we're going to be getting into another mod, a new one, and this is going to be Pneumaticraft. Yes, I did say new, but I didn't specify what kind of new. But yes, we're going to be diving into Pneumaticraft. This is going to be required for, well, some of the in-game, specifically the pulsating black hole. We are going to have to get this up to 5 bar, very, very small number right there, and get that lined up just perfectly to be able to do this. But we have to dive into Pneumaticraft for this, and there's also another item that is going to be required for this. So along with this whole setup, I do believe we are also going to need a circuit board for one of the other items, right? It's somewhere in here. And when I say circuit board, I mean PCB. This was what we should be able to hopefully get done today. But there's a few things I want to go over before we dive into this mod that actually needs to be running while we're working on this. And that is, well, one of the items here, the Wither's Compass, is going to require us to make these gravitation modules. These things are going to be quite expensive. Not only do they require antimatter, but they also require ultimate induction providers. These things are quite expensive, lots and lots of crafting, and they will keep our crafters busy. That is for sure. And to do this, I can't just go one by one, because if I try to craft one of these, let's say I'm going to craft like 2 or 3. I can't. I don't have enough processors for this. I would have to have a ton of these in order for this to work. However, I can do one, and one will work. But I could go about a different way. Instead of doing it all manual that way, I'm going to use this little thing called an ME requester. And this thing is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the item that we need, right? We need the Wither Compass. We need, let's see, the induction provider. So let's do provider, and we'll go ahead and drag this into this slot. Now what it's going to do is it's going to check for how many I have. You can see how many to keep in stock and how many to craft when I run out of stock. Well, I need 8 of these in stock, and so I'm going to go ahead and set it to 8, and then I hit submit. But I only wanted to craft 1 at a time. So this is going to do a single craft at a time, which is going to get this started, as you can see right here. So it's going to do 1, and then it's going to go, okay, I'm still not ready, and then it's going to craft another one, and this thing is going to make that so much easier. So anything that needs to be sort of bulk crafted in this way while I work on other things, this little guy is going to be my best friend. Now, I will be straightforward with you guys. Pneumaticraft, well, it can be kind of daunting. It can also be very complicated to get into the late game. But I want to do my best to make it as easy as possible to understand. Because in reality, it is all about pressure and how we handle it. Now, I did notice that there is not a guide. There is no guide for Pneumaticraft inside of this pack. So you will not have a quest for it. So let me sort of be the quest, or you could hit, I believe it is normally L, or you can open up your advancements tab. Now, once you get the hotkey conflicts fixed for your L to open up your advancements, you're going to go to this tab over here. First, explosions of mini. And if you're looking for a little guide, this is a nice little guide in here using your advancements. And it's not too bad. It does sort of explain here and kind of show you the items you need. But I'm going to do my best, like I said, to kind of show you myself. So some of the first things you're going to need is iron and TNT. Yep, we are going to need some TNT. And some way to set it off. A button is not a bad way. So button or a lever or anything like that. And I think I have this area protected. Let's go ahead and just protect this. If it is protected, it shouldn't blow up when we do this. At least that's the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and place down the TNT, place the button down, and then what I'm going to do is just simply throw the iron down next to it. And then I'm going to set the TNT off. And what should happen is this should turn into compressed iron right here. You do lose out on a little bit of compressed iron when this process takes place, but this is going to be used for a ton of materials. Now, the best thing to do is once you get this is to probably make some seeds. I've already got some seeds going, so I should be able to just simply make a bunch of this from essence instead of this particular method. Of course, later on, you could also make it inside the pressure chamber, but this this is a very tedious process as well. Now, speaking of pressure chambers, this is actually going to be one of the first things that we end up making. We're going to need this reinforced stone, which is going to be a bunch of stone. And we are going to combine that together. I think I have, yeah, I'm going to definitely need a bit more stone. But we're going to combine this together, this material, with the stone. And that's going to be what we make a lot of our stuff out of, is going to be this reinforced stone. And I believe it gets compressed down even further. And then this gets used in making these pressurized chamber walls and the pressurized chamber glass, which is both things we're going to need. Now, crafting the chamber has never been easier. All we are going to need is the chamber interfaces, which you do craft up to, a little bit of the glass. You're going to need the walls, and you're also going to need a valve. And that's basically it. And you can build this pretty small if you want. So this right here should be nice, a nice size. Now on the chamber interfaces, we are going to need an interface, and it is kind of interesting how these sort of look. You can see this is a blue. Blue usually means insert, while orange means extract, which means that for me to be able to place this one here, I'm going to need this to be an extract. And these do have interfaces, and we should be able to hopefully, you know, ultimately decide what these do once this multi-block is finished. Now, on the face, we just need a place to look at it, to make it look pretty. And then, of course, a valve on the back in order to send pressure to this. And then the rest of this is just going to be chamber walls. So we are building ourselves a nice little multi-block here. And there we go. It is now done. And you can build this a little bit larger if you want. But as you can see right here, this is perfectly suitable for just about all of our applications. Now, because we place these in here in that particular order, this is the insertion, and this is going to be where things get pulled out. Well, this is where automation comes into play. Notice the exporting here. We can set it to export everything that goes in, but nothing will be processed if we do that. So setting it to crafted means that only things that are finished crafting will be exported out of here. And then the way this kind of works is that you have this sort of this chamber that sort of you can think about this in between. This block here has two gates, and what it's going to do, it's going to work very similar to how you see a depressurizing chamber on like spaceship movies and stuff like that. Basically, the chamber wall is going to open. It's going to allow pressurized air in here. Then it's going to close. And unfortunately, there's going to be a little bit of a pressure loss that happens in that, but not as much as if we were to open both of these gates and then let the items come out. So it'll still drain a little bit, but it won't be a whole bunch. And I don't know if the size 100% affects that. But now that we have this up, we need to start getting pressure and start to work on other things. Now, one of the most effective and cheapest ways of getting ourselves some power is just a very simple air compressor. And this is going to utilize coal. And this is going to basically take coal from us. In exchange, it is going to give us a little bit of air. Now, we're going to be using these pressurized tubes, and keep in mind that air pressure can be dangerous. And if you let too much air pressure build up, things can go pop. So that's something we're gonna have to keep in mind. This red area, not good. These pipes can also only handle 5 bar. So if it goes above 5 bar, the pipes can blow up. You can also have your air compressor blow up. There's a lot of things that could potentially go wrong. So we want to make sure to not let that happen. Thankfully, having things crafted will definitely keep that in check. But there's a few upgrades that we can put inside of this that'll kind of help us in that situation. Now, once we get a security upgrade and we put this in, this is going to allow this to vent air before it gets into the dangerous levels. Now, in doing that, it is going to continuously run, meaning it's going to always need fuel. And one of the best ways to kind of prevent that from happening is by using a pressurized gauge tube module, which allows us to sort of detect how much pressure is inside of this tube, and we can actually get a redstone signal from it. And this is going to allow us to detect and kind of control how much power we're producing. Now, we want this to go to about 4.5 bar, which is going to, if I go ahead and actually show this, it'll, I believe, tells us here. It says formulation on redstone equals 2.0 times the pressure bar. So what I'm going to need is roughly 9 pieces of redstone in order to get this, because we'll be able to carry a signal over here, and we want to make sure to shut this off with redstone. And so let's go ahead and try to control it. So let's put this here, and then let's grab some redstone, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we'll use a repeater here to transfer that full redstone signal into this. And now once this gets to that strength, we'll have this automatically shut off, which will shut off right about here. Now later on, we're going to have to tinker with this a bit to be able to make sure this is always at maximum, which is going to be a very small sliver, which is going to be a little bit higher than what this is currently set to. But early on, this is definitely going to get the job done. And I think this needs to be set on redstone high mode. Let's go ahead and grab some coal, and we'll go ahead and we'll toss it in and get this going. Now I do want to get this sort of put together here, and have this automated. And to do that, I have some cable, Light Energistics cable, already set up and ready to go. That is running down here. You can see right here, there's my dense cable. So I'll just grab some Fluix and we'll get this ran through here, and we'll just use an exporter on this. Yes, I think this actually needs to be set on low signal. And there we go. Now it's running. So it needed to be set on low signal, and when it receives a signal, it'll shut off. So you can see the bar is slowly filling up. It also shows us in our Jade, which is really nice. I'm just going to use an exporter to fill this up. So this mod is pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of things that we can do, and I was looking at deeper through all of the stuff, right? Because the black hole requires these micro missiles as well. And micro missiles, well, they do require finished PCBs and also plastic sheets. Now, I'm going to try and do this the villager route, which is you can use a charging station to potentially be able to buy these from a level 5 villager. I think this might be the best way to do it, because the process of actually obtaining a PCB is quite extensive. And it does appear that we could potentially get finished PCBs from the villager. And also plastic sheets. Plastic sheets, though, this is going to require, if you do want to make plastic sheets, you do have to go through a refinery process. I have many videos that have covered this. So if you just search as the Pneumaticraft refinery, guarantee you're going to find out how to do this. But how do you get oil in this pack? Well, you're going to use the laser drill in order to get crude oil. You're going to have to use a black laser lens if you want to go about it that route and actually dive into more of the stuff within this mod. But to simply just make the things that we need to make in order to make the All the Mods star, I'm just going to be going this route. And that's going to be kind of interesting. Now, if I want to craft this today, there's going to be some things that we need to do. We are going to need to basically finish up and make the infinity nuke. Thankfully, it doesn't need any upgrades or anything or any power. So we just need a infinity nuke. And now it doesn't show you that you can craft it right here, but you just, I think, craft a normal one. And then we have the vial of searing. This is going to be pretty easy. It's just some dust, and you get this gem dust from just breaking down gems by dropping an anvil on it. So putting that together would be pretty straightforward. The nuke itself is just a single craft, very easy. We already have antimatter. We have the nether star, UU matter, but we do need a quantum ring, and this is the only other thing that we need to craft up before we start getting there. So I'm gonna get the auto crafts ready for this, and let's start working on those villagers. So let's go ahead and make that gem dust, by the way. So all we have to do is just simply toss out some gems that we've gotten from killing mobs and drop an anvil on it. As you can see, we get ourselves some dust from that. So yes, these are a pretty easy thing to go ahead and craft up, and we just need to craft this. And I think there was the only other thing left. What was it needed in the middle of this? Oh, a thick potion. So yeah, so we can go ahead and craft that here in a minute. It's just basically normal potions with some, basically you just put glowstone on the potion, or just a bottle. And now we have our quantum ring. Let's go ahead and get our villager. So I have this, and let's see. Pneumaticraft, we just need the charger, right? Charging station requires reinforced stone in the slab form. And there we go. So, if we place down a villager, it being the perfect time of day, this should detect that. Given a certain point, we're going to have to wait till this guy wants to take the job. So there we go. I ended up getting this guy. I just ended up breaking one of the slabs and put the charging station there, and boom, perfect. So this guy has the ability to sell us PCB blueprints, air canisters, and so it looks like it's just going to cost us a tiny little bit of emeralds in order to max this guy out. Now it's probably not a guarantee in that that roll pool or that loot pool that we're going to get it at tier 5, but hopefully we get one or the other. That would be really great. All of these things are kind of nice. Yes, we should be able to level this guy up very quickly. Look at that. And then there's the journeyman. And this gives us different drones. The drones, by the way, in this are incredibly powerful. In case you did not know, drones are insanely powerful. Honestly, something that we could have gotten into early on and would have been super duper useful. But you do have to program them yourself, so that becomes sort of the hardest part about Pneumaticraft, is you have to do all of the programming. Let's see. Grab the rest of this. We are about to have it at max tier, and that is where everything unlocks. And we're going to see what we got. Hopefully we ended up getting those missiles. And we did not get missiles from this particular villager. So this villager, well, can probably go by, right? This is at master level, and as you can see, we did not get it. So I'm going to have to keep going through this sort of process, but believe me, it is way faster than going through the actual PCB production, because that's a pretty lengthy task. Wow, this is pretty powerful, because I've never actually done this before, but yeah, so the villagers can be very, very powerful. This master is selling just finished PCBs. These require so much to get, like it's going through the entire mod, and you can just get them from the top tier villagers. That is so cool. So this is a villager definitely worth saving. I'm going to save this particular villager, and we'll save that for safekeeping. But I still haven't got the one that gives us the missile. And so that's what I'm working on right now. And I've probably got a little bit more to do. We'll do this a couple more times. Now, after going through about 6 villagers, I have 2 villagers that sell finished PCBs. And then I now have a villager that sells micro missiles. Yes, that is exactly what I need. So we now have all of the things we need, right? Anvil. And we should be able to set this up. Now, to be able to reach that bar that we need, as you can see right here, it is at 4.95 bar. We're probably going to have to disconnect our redstone wire that I mentioned before in order to get this to particularly function. I do want to go ahead and name these, though. This is the missile villager. Miss villager, and this is the PCB. There we go. I think if we pull these out of here, the names will change. Like, let's see. If I put this out and back in, as you can see, Prism Tool Villager ends up getting changed. That's unfortunate. But all we really need is this one setup here. And we just need to make sure we pull all the items out. I'm going to get a pipe. And we should be able to do this by simply putting in all the items here. We could probably just use a basic pipe. I don't see why that would matter. Or sorry, we don't need a pipe. We need a logistics pipe. So yeah, we can just use a basic logistics pipe to send the items in, and a barrel. I like to use barrels. And let's see. I think I have the wrench in my inventory. Or not. Configurator. There we go. So yeah, we can just place a barrel here, here, and then we'll use our pipe to simply place here. And this is, it's going to be super simple to automate this because all we need to do is just send the ingredients in. And so this will automatically be able to send the ingredients in. And then over here, it won't send anything out unless it is a crafted output. And so that will automatically pull it out whenever it is finished crafting. So all we need now to make this pulsating black hole is we just need the rest of these items. The infinity nuke is going to be one of them. This thing is so goofy in the crafting recipe. It does require a tier. It's just basically setting up the auto crafting recipes for this. We're going to need to make sure we have a tier 3. We can't even craft this range add-on. Is it actually uncraftable? Wait, what? Tier 12. That is kind of weird. Tier 12? I'm not even seeing it in the list. Maybe it is, maybe it does have a crafting recipe conflict. Range upgrade. Industrial foregoing range upgrade? Here it is. Okay, so weird. Within the craft, like, there's some definitely some bugs there when it comes to like the JEI recipe sorting, because it is here and we can make a crafting card for it, but the Infinity Nuke itself is also in here. Infinity Nuke, where are you at? There you are. It's just going to require this, and of course it's going to require 2 buckets of ether gas. All of that is very easy to make, and this thing is very interesting. I don't think we'll be using it in our base, but it could be tested out maybe in another dimension. However, this particular one, I do not want to do those tests as of right now. What should we take out of here? We can take out this pattern and put that in there, and then this in here, and we can go ahead and request an Infinity Nuke. It is oddly enough saying that we do not have a tier 12 range upgrade, but we do. So I'm gonna go ahead and craft it, and there's definitely some recipe conflicts going on. Let's do a nuke. It's saying it's missing. That is so weird. I'm gonna try and rebuild the pattern by putting the one in that I have right here. So I'll do this, clear this, put that in, which is the one that we've made, and then re-encode and see if maybe that fixes the problem, and then make sure to put this back into storage, and then try it. And now it works. So yeah, very weird, but there are workarounds, and thankfully we ended up finding a workaround right there. And bam, we now have an Infinity Nuke. And putting this in my inventory isn't going to cause problems, but I probably don't want to put it in my hotbar because I don't want to affect any of the metadata, because I don't know if that's going to change the crafting recipe or not. But outside of that, I think that's the only thing we need. Aside from me building up some potions, I already have UU matter, and we just need to craft ourselves a nuke. Then of course the antimatter, man, we have so much. We have 32 antimatter that is built up. That is awesome. And so I'm gonna go ahead and toss one of these in here. We do need a UU matter, a single UU matter, which I'm gonna grab from over here out of our over 1,000 that we have that's just been building up over time. Last but not least, another star. And this is just one of the couple of pieces that we're gonna need. I think this is all of them, right? That is everything required to make the pulsating black hole. Oh, we're also missing one other thing, the quantum ring. That is what we're needing. And I do have that right here. Perfect. So this, I think, is just going to take a tiny little bit of time because it does have to build back up that pressure. So once we put all of these ingredients in, you're going to see this is going to let the item in, but it's also going to lose a little bit of pressure in the process each time this happens. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. As you can see, it is slowly letting all of the ingredients in. And then once it's all in, that's when I'm probably going to break this redstone and let it build back up the pressure. And of course, it'll build pressure faster with it being this smaller size than as if you were to build a larger one. If you built a larger one, it takes a bit more time for that pressure to build back up. So at this point, everything is in. You can see the barrel is empty. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure to break this and make sure that is going to run up till max. And what it's going to do is it should hit 4.95 bar. And that is where this craft should hopefully do its operation and finish. I don't think this helps any by doing that. Is accelerating it? Oh, it actually does speed it up. Oh, that's cool. Hopefully nothing explodes. That would be bad. I probably shouldn't do that much. I should probably just, you know, give a little love tap like I did and then just let it go, because this is about to hit the pressure it needs. And there it goes. We should have the result. It is in this process. And there we go. Pulsating black hole. We've just finished that part. Oh my goodness. Okay. Make sure to plug the redstone back in. That way it can continue to, that noise you're hearing is the security upgrade bleeding the pressure. But yeah, we need to make sure it no longer is producing. That way it doesn't use any more coal. Wow. And that's it. I told you. See, I told you it wasn't going to be that difficult. It's just a little bit. Just a little bit of Pneumaticraft needed to get into this. You know what's crazy interesting though about having this villager that's a part of this, which I'm pretty sure is a part of Pneumaticraft now, is that you could just get this villager and you could just completely bypass the early progression part and go straight to the assemblers, which I think is amazing, because then you could just completely automate the assembler process for the PCBs, and you can buy your blueprint from the villager. And I mean, it just makes the whole process, that's just so streamlined. Look at the finished PCBs that are required for all of these advanced parts. These are all like later game, like mid-game part of Pneumaticraft. So yeah, very interesting. I know I didn't cover a whole lot of what Pneumaticraft actually is all about. It's basically about using pneumatics in order to automate things. Using drones is one of the big parts of this mod to automate processes throughout your base. They kind of fly around and they do different things. If you want to check that out, I did cover it in depth in All the Mods 8. So definitely check that out if you haven't checked out the Pneumaticraft part of that pack, as there was a lot of fun stuff. We even made a quarry with the drones in Pneumaticraft. Yeah. It's pretty powerful, like I said. So of course, to make our mark, I have some pedestals here to slowly but surely set all of these different materials up in order to make this star. And now we have ourselves the pulsating black hole, which of course, guys, is only going to advance us further. And we're going to be getting into many more of these things within the next couple of episodes, because we still need to touch on spirit. But the majority of these things just simply require us to craft up some items and take all of the prior stuff that we've done throughout this playthrough and put it into these items. My goodness. Oh boy, I'm excited. And of course, after completing that, we get ourselves a pedestal to display it on. We get us a premium essence and a Master of Space sword. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and actually, for the completed ones, I'm going to place them on these new pedestals, which, by the way, these are from Reliquary. Of course, I call them pedestals, but yeah, they're pedestals. But I'm definitely a good old Southern boy, and from that part of the United States. And so, yeah, I say it differently. There's dialects, of course. But there we go. So that shows one that is completed. And we ended up getting this thing right here, which is a sword that's just renamed. Just renamed. And there we go. So, guys, if you're just as excited as I am, be sure to click that subscribe button and give this video a huge thumbs up if you've enjoyed the series thus far. Also, comment down below which one of these ingredients for the Allthemodium star is the hardest in your opinion. Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. And it also lets me know that you've made it to the end of the video. Guys, it is now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that amazing thanks is going to go to Hotaro, I think that's right. 0903. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. Guys, I thank you so very much for supporting in this way. And of course, check out the Discord, discord.gg/ChosenArchitect. And at the time of this video, if you are a supporter of the appropriate tier, Redstone and higher, at least on the Discord, be sure to hop on the new server. We just opened up a couple of new servers, actually. Sky Factory 4 is open, but we just opened the beta of All the Mods 9 over there as well. So come join us and have fun. Of course, the Volcano Block is still up as well, if that's something you're interested. So thank you guys so much for your amazing support. I'll see you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye.